Click below to watch the original Sins video.
Today's video is sponsored by BetterHelp.
As established in my Batman video, BetterHelp sponsorships are worth 300 sins.
42 seconds of logos.
Well, that's rich for the guy who just spent 50 seconds on a BetterHelp sponsorship.
Oh, good. You picked the worst year ever for movies to start this movie.
Hey, don't slam 2005. That's the year I was born. I'm sure that sin made a lot of people feel really old. Fun fact, my 20th birthday was actually 2 days before this video should go up. So, happy birthday to me.
You're not going to the prom. Boy, you lucky you even graduating.
Let me get this straight. Janko can't go to the prom because of bad grades, but he gets to graduate?
I think this was actually a thing at my high school. Prom is a luxury, and having grades that are too low will get your luxuries taken away. Being able to graduate, on the other hand, is not a luxury.
Such bullshit. You're really good at this.
Movie will never explain why super nerd Schmidt wants to become a cop instead of anything else nerds get into, like Starship Enterprise repair or whatever nerds do.
Because apparently, if you are a nerd, you are only allowed to be interested in the most stereotypical nerd stuff possible.
You forgot to read him his Miranda rights. What possible reason is there for not doing the only thing you have to do when arresting someone?
It seems absurd to me that the nerd in this partnership, Schmidt, somehow forgot this.
No. Janko was the one who forgot it. He had already made the arrest by the time Schmidt showed up, so there is no reason to blame Schmidt for this.
Didn't somebody tell you guys this was an undercover unit?
They were told that, yes, but I keep wondering why Schmidt, the smart one, keeps his intellect to the level of Janko, the dumb one. What was the point of showing us how well prepared and knowledgeable he is if he's just going to be completely unaware of what to do in these kinds of situations?
You can be smart while still also being a complete dumbass who fucks things up on the regular. Trust me, I would know.
Joe Nauseum isn't trying hard enough.
This right here is one of the funniest things I have ever seen on this channel. I'll remove a sin, why not?
Also, hell, do Schmidt's parents even know they're about to move in? What if they don't have room? What if they're dead?
The answer to this question is yes. It is implied that Schmidt's parents knew about this beforehand and had agreed to take them in, yet Jeremy acts like the movie left this hanging. Also, what the fuck do you mean, what if they're dead? Then they probably would have done something, literally anything else, because they have options. They just went with this one because it was the easiest to arrange.
Take an hour, get the f*** out.
Presumably every other kid that has bought this drug has had to do this too.
We don't actually know that for sure. Eric says later that he was suspicious of these guys, so it's possible that he did this just for them to try and suss them out.
Are you guys on drugs?
In the middle of this everything's going crazy montage, the filmmakers insert an image of Grandpa playing tea time with his granddaughter and two women looking at a photo album. And I know that's a joke, and I'm even laughing at it, but I'm sinning it for the pure randomness.
This is a pretty massive pot call for a guy whose sense of humor often tends to consist of just spouting random nonsense.
One particle of unobtainium has a nuclear reaction with a flux capacitor. Carry the two, changing its atomic isotoner into a radioactive spider. F*** you, science.
I can't let this go without removing a sin.
Yes, you were right to make that decision.
Never throw your wallet out the car window sounds like pretty good advice. Let me ask you something though. How about throwing it at your TV? Should you do that? Huh? Should ya?
Thank you so much, Jeremy, for perfectly demonstrating my point about the random nonsense humor. I'm not even saying that I have a problem with this type of humor. This joke actually made me chuckle a little bit. Randomness can be really funny when delivered right. I'm just pointing out that Jeremy's being a bit hypocritical.
I'm 18 years old, and my mom still packs a lunch for me every day.
I sure am glad Molly told us her age for no other reason than to say how weird it is that her mom still packs her lunches for her. I'm sure it's not some other reason, like the fact that the nearly 30-year-old Schmidt is pining after a high school girl and they want to make it seem like it's not creepy. Which makes me want to circle back to this. I know that we know Channing Tatum is over 30 and doesn't look like he's under 18, but a teacher outwardly showing this much thirst in public for a student is well, I guess it's sadly par for the course these days.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Jeremy on this one. I love this movie, but it has a weird obsession with age gaps.
Do you mind if I just put like a posting on Facebook?
Facebook.
I know now that it's cool to shit on Facebook, but back in 2012 when this film came out, Facebook was still an absolute social media juggernaut that was actually being used by people other than the elderly and bots.
Are y'all throwing a party? What? There's rumors in the Twitter sphere.
Oh, there is not. Well, I'm glad you got Ice Cube another scene of this movie. Good job.
There's like no hot dudes here.
You mean the party that was so well advertised that there were rumors on the Twitterverse doesn't have any hot guys? Maybe it's your standards, man.
You definitely say Twitterverse as if you were quoting the movie, but Ice Cube said Twitter sphere. Pay attention, Jeremy. And I know that was the nitpickiest nitpick to ever knit the pick, but this is CinemaSins we're talking about, so I feel absolutely no shame.
Having never been invited to any parties like this in my lifetime and having a circle of friends who tell me they weren't either, I continue to believe these movie parties are bullshit. Please do not tell me that you attended parties like this in the comments because I will not believe you.
Hey, I'm sure these kinds of parties happen all the time. I mean, I wouldn't know because I've never been invited to one either, but it is not only possible, but likely that both me and Jeremy were just losers. I mean, we do both have YouTube channels dedicated to talking about movies, and this isn't exactly a group known for having been invited to a lot of parties in high school. This movie makes so many jokes about Schmidt and Jenko looking too old to be high schoolers, but so many of the actors who are supposed to be portraying actual teenagers like Brie Larson and Dave Franco don't look that much younger.
You're on the prom committee.
Wait, what? He is? If it doesn't have anything to do with the undercover operation and it doesn't have anything to do with Molly, why would he join the prom committee?
I'm not sinning this yet, I'm just putting it in as context for a later sin.
We need to be back in 30 minutes for curtain.
Molly was so worried Schmidt wouldn't get back in time for the show a second ago. How is there still 30 minutes until the show goes on?
As someone who was in multiple musicals in high school, I can confirm that you are definitely expected to be there long before 30 minutes to curtain.
Boy, f***ing shit, the movie can't even get the words in the right order on their dun-dun-dun moment. Oil, fuel, and...
Okay, I'm a little bit conflicted on this one. The movie is very clearly making a joke here, but so is Jeremy. The sin definitely isn't supposed to be taken seriously, but at the same time, it's not that funny, and he added a sin for it for some reason. So basically, Jeremy made a bad joke in response to the movie's good joke, and then proceeded to sin it.
You're in too deep, man. Yesterday, I found a college application on your desk.
This is a very funny line that is a perfect, silly send-up of deep cover movies.
I love Jeremy complimenting the movie and all, but this scene kind of contradicts Jeremy's earlier sin about Schmidt being on the prom committee, because surely that's just yet another example of him being in too deep, no?
Please get in the car.
These two are now ex-cops, but still decide to get in the car with angry teenagers that could kill them.
Yeah, as you said, these are angry teenagers that could kill them, so if they don't comply, then they might, kill them.
Look, I grant it's possible these biker gangs don't remember these two, but they've had 2 interactions with them in a short amount of time, and one of those was just yesterday. The biker gang knows that undercover cops followed them, but I guess they're not on high alert now with people they think are strangers.
But the bikers do recognize them. They're on high alert for this. Or did you somehow miss the part immediately after this where they recognize them and start questioning them?
Come to Andrew's French Fry Emporium.
Gotta admit, this is a pretty funny callback to an innocuous banner ad on the fake YouTube page we saw earlier, but now I feel unreasonably superior for discovering this Easter egg on my own. Here's a sin for making people feel superior when they don't deserve it.
Hey, you definitely deserve to feel superior. Negative self-talk is definitely a sin. Also, if Andrew's French Fry Emporium is a real place, then how the hell could a place that exclusively serves French fries possibly stay in business?
No, that's unfair.
It is unfair that the movie asked one of the 2 undercover DEAs to shoot you. If it was another person in the gang, the movie would be over now, and that would be the fairer thing for us all.
Jeremy gets dangerously close to implying that this movie is bad.
Tom Hansen, DEA, on your knees.
Oh man, I was hoping for Donnie Brasco, but I guess this'll do.
As someone who is a big fan of a lot of the cameos in recent superhero movies, I'm starting to understand why this kind of thing irritates some people, because the first time that I saw this movie, I had no idea that it was based on a TV show, so when this moment happened, my only reaction was, what the hell is Johnny Depp doing here?
During this sequence where all the players are getting into cars, they all choose limos for some reason. I guess for the lulz.
No, it's because the limos are the only available cars in this area because of the prom.
What do you get when lithium batteries react to potassium nitrate?
Probably very little, but this is the movie, and you can say whatever you want to make things go big boom if you want.
So this then led me down a very long rabbit hole of research before I ultimately found out that Jeremy was actually right. But because of the amount of time that I sank into this that ultimately led to absolutely nothing, I'm going to add a sin out of spite.
I don't know what the end credits are meant to do to me, but attempting to keep my attention on this horse any longer isn't working. Okay, fine. I'll watch Channing Miss Griggs. But then I'm done with this movie forever.
You know that nobody is forcing you to watch the credits, right?